Day 4. I am exhausted and hungry. I've been living off of canned food I found in the trash, so imagine my delight when I came out of my shack this morning and found a wild pig. I climbed through the roof hatch and pulled him in with an arrow. It took a couple of shots to bring him down, but in the end I got him. Butchering is a messy job that I don't fancy, thank you very much. But when your stomach is one constant rumble, you can overlook a lot. I was in the hut putting the meat away when I heard a horrible sound. It was like the gates of hell had been opened, and the hissing and growling made me want to bury my head and plug my ears like a child. Through the cracks between the wood and my front door, I could see them moving by. I stayed perfectly still, not even breathing. They were so close, and there were so many of them. They didn't seem to sense me, though, and they moved on. I climbed through the roof hatch when I felt they were safely by, and I couldn't believe how many there were. A couple of stragglers were still wandering close to the shack and noticed me. I was able to shoot arrows down on them from above. I don't know if they heard as I killed their friends, but the group turned and started making their way back towards the shack. I decided it was the perfect time to go scavenge a bit. I went to the building that had been marked for supply retrieval. I told Jen I'd do it for her. I was about to head in when I heard a plane. An airplane flying by. I ran to see if I could try and flag it down. I mean, surely zombies can't fly planes, right? It was too far away, but it dropped something. It looked like a big box with a parachute. It was a good bit of distance, but I thought it could be survivor gear or food, so I began the trek in that direction. The box has a smoke bomb type thing on top, and I was able to see it when I got close. I wasn't sure what to expect. Were there others like me who'd be going for the box? Would they be willing to kill for the box? Would I be willing to kill for the box? It didn't matter. There was no one else around except the walking dead, and fortunately not too many of them. I was like a kid on Christmas morning when I got to the box. I couldn't wait to see what was inside, and my mind ran frantically over all the things I hoped it could be. Food, a better gun, ammunition. It contained one baked potato and a wrench. A fucking wrench. I had a bit of a hysterical laughing fit meltdown. I mean, I find a supply crate in the zombie apocalypse, right? And it contains exactly one baked potato and a wrench. You can't make this shit up. On my walk back, I found a pretty little house. It's a bit dilapidated, but it reminded me of how we always talked about building a house in the woods. When I have time, I may check it out a little more and see if I can fix it up and put up enough defenses around it to live there. We'll see. It may be a bit big for a post-apocalyptic living. Besides, I only plan to stay here long enough to find you, or to find out you aren't in this little town. But it's nice to dream. A storm rolled in the afternoon. Like things aren't bad enough to have to kill these beasts in the middle of a thunderstorm. For a moment, I thought a lightning bolt might be the best thing to happen. But, alas, I ran inside and sat by the fire and cooked some of the pig I'd killed in the morning. I worked on the shack a little, trying to make it more secure. It was a long night, but they are all long nights these days. This morning I planted some trees. Yes, I planted trees. I've chopped so many down, I really felt it was important to protect Mother Earth. Okay, not really. I want trees closer to the shack so I don't have to go so far for wood. Call me selfish, but saving the environment doesn't seem that high on my list of priorities just this moment. My bear friend was back. Apparently I'm too scrawny and underfed for him to even notice me, which is fine. I will say finding only rotten food has helped with my diet, as does the constant diarrhea one gets from eating the rotten food. Sorry, was that TMI? I spent the rest of the day looking for supply packages for the White River folks. I still don't know what their deal is. Jen, the trader, is not one for answering questions, and I've yet to see another living soul other than her. But there must be others. I don't understand why people wouldn't want to band together, but I suppose in these times, it could be best to stay on your own. There are plenty of evil people in the world who could actually be more dangerous than these walking bags of rabies. So for now, I'll try to keep to the shadows and stay alive. Oh, and remember how I always wanted a parrot? Well, I'm over that now. One of the missions I took on was in this old house. The only way you could get inside was to climb up some scaffolding and walk across the roof to a hole where you could drop down into the house. I was so busy trying not to fall off the roof. You know how much I love heights. I didn't even notice this rotting zombie bird until it flew out and clawed at me. But I stayed calm and cool and shot it with an arrow. Aren't you impressed? Then I slayed it with my pickaxe. Alright, fine. I ran like a little girl, and I'm pretty sure he just flew into an arrow I loosed in my moment of panic. I did kill it with the axe. Or I might have just screamed it to death. But it sounds so much cooler to say I slayed it with my axe. These houses are so creepy inside, and so dark. But things went much better this time than the last. That is, until I had to climb into the attic. Attics and basements, not cool. I peeped into the attic. It was a pretty long house, so I had to squint to see what was at the other end. Just my dim flashlight light. But what I saw was enough to know it was not going to be good. There were 6 zombies, and they saw me. I had to kill them. That's the mission. When you complete a mission, you get money and some kind of tool or ammo or something like that that's always useful. It's how they get people to do this crazy shit to start with. Bribe them. So I grabbed the beat up old pipe shotgun I found. I know with a shotgun they need to be closer, but I panicked and fired before they were even halfway down the attic. So of course I was going to have to reload. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to reload a gun when your hands are shaking? But just as I got it loaded, there was an explosion that rang my ears. I'm surprised it didn't blow me up, but it did blow up 3 of the monsters. Someone had put landmines in the attic. I fired again, too soon of course, at the remaining 3. 2 of them were the slithering skeleton things that crawl across the floor. But before I got reloaded again, another explosion went off and got those 3. I got real lucky. Then I found a safe in the back corner of the attic. I had a couple of lockpicks I'd found, but my career as a burglar is even more pitiful than my career as an archer. So, I ended up having to beat into the thing with my trusty old pickaxe. It takes forever to beat open a safe when you're half-starved, but my tenacity was rewarded with a pipe machine gun. At least now, when I have the ammo, I can get more than one shot off before I have to reload. Then I tiptoed around the 2 remaining mines in the attic and got the hell out of Dodge. The rest of the day was the usual. Chop down trees and work on the shack until I'm too tired to move or care that I'm eating wild boar. Tonight, I think I will actually sleep. It was a crazy day. So I will say goodnight, my love. I miss you and I love you. Always and forever. M.